Welcome to this episode of Digging Deeper. I had the opportunity to interview and talk with Mr. Buck Vandersteen, who is the Executive Director of the Louisiana Forestry Association. And through our meeting, we cover topics including the process of becoming a member of the association, but also the opportunities and benefits you can have as a member. He covers how the practices and techniques that they use to recover our losses from damaged forest within our state and just the impact that it has on future generations. But I heard that you've traveled a lot growing up and you have an interesting story of how you got to Jonesboro, Louisiana. So could you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, first off, good day, and thank you, Elizabeth, for meeting with me this morning. My forestry career began real early in just being able to walk out in the woods and knowing that I wanted to do something with forest resources. And I remember going back to my high school and really sitting in my guidance counselor's office and looking through the books to find out where forestry is and what would get me out to working in the woods. So that's really how I began looking at forestry. And then I went to college, went to an East Coast school, University of Massachusetts, graduated in forestry. And an opportunity came along to start my career actually overseas. I went to West Africa, a country called Liberia, and there I helped that government work with its forest resources to help them manage their resource. And after that time was over, I came back to the United States and knew that forestry was in the South, that the breadbasket, or the wood basket really, of the world is in the U.S. South. And I knew this is where I needed to be. So I came to Louisiana. I was very fortunate that some folks in Jonesboro, Louisiana, welcomed me, and that's where I started my career in industry. And I did that until 1982. And what my career path shows anybody is that you never know, when you have a strong technical background and you have an enthusiasm to help people and to do things, you never know where that career path will take you. And the Forestry Association was looking for an executive director. I applied, I was accepted for that spot. Never thought I would be doing Forestry Association work and doing the work that I do, but it just shows you when your mind is open and your work experience and working with people are strong, that you never know where your career will carry you.
Earlier you had said a little bit about how you had gone through catalogs and went to your guidance counselor, and you were just really interested in forestry. How did you know that you were interested in forestry? What about it piqued your interest?
What piqued my interest most about forestry was being out in a forest. There was a certain smell of being in the forest and seeing trees grow that excited me about forestry, and I wanted to learn more about it. And I had to go back to my high school and go through catalogs to find out what forestry was all about. I did not have the privilege in high school to have a FFA advisor working with me, and I have to shout out to the men and women who are the FFA advisors and the mentors to many of our young student leaders, that they play such a vital role in helping us learn career paths, understand an industry that we may want to get involved in, and what are the things that help us meet societal needs through the management of our natural resources. So having student advisors and mentors in our schools, FFA plays a key role in helping young adults understand the importance of our natural resources.
It's evident that you are dedicated to not only the forests of Louisiana, but natural resources and keeping our environment safe. As the director of the Louisiana Forestry Association, you advocate for so many things. Do you mind telling me a little bit about those things that your association does advocate for?
Yeah. We equate forestry a lot to a three-legged stool. And those three legs have to be strong or the whole stool falls over. First leg of our stool is our landowner. That's the men and women, the small family farms, the large corporations that grow trees every year, plant trees today for future generations to harvest. That is a strong commitment to our future. The second leg of that stool is our loggers. These are the small business men and women that work in the woods every day, harvesting trees on private lands and public lands and carrying that wood to the mill so it can be processed. They are small business people. They have to be successful for this stool to remain strong. And the third leg of the stool, of course, is our industry. And that's where we take the actual wood that's grown on the forest landowner's property and turn that log into something that we can use. Everything from the bathroom tissue, the paper towels, the personal hygiene equipment, the lumber that we use to build homes or even desks and furniture that we have in our offices. And the technology, the science that is part of forestry is today giving us opportunities to put wood together and making buildings more than 12 stories tall, made entirely of wood. And what an exciting opportunity for young leaders to know that forestry can play such a vital role in helping our environment, helping jobs in our rural communities, and helping to make our lives so much better now and in the future.
um, I could see that you not only stand, and your association doesn't only stand for the family man and for our economy, but also for our future generations and making sure that we do have that land and those resources for new loggers and farmers that will be here in the future. Um, I've realized that over the past however many years, our forestry system has gained hundreds of more trees and really recovered from some of the damage that it had before. Can you tell me a little bit about what practices and techniques y'all use to be able to recover that damage?
And your question prompts several responses to that. And one of the first things I want to talk about is our greatest asset, and that is our people. And the people start with the students that go into forestry. And the Forestry Association has an organization that we call the Louisiana Forestry Foundation. It's part of the umbrella of the Forestry Association. And that Forestry Foundation every year offers scholarships to students studying forestry at our three four-year institutions, LSU, Louisiana Tech, and Southern University, and our two community and technical colleges at Oakdale with Sewella and Central Louisiana Technical Community College at Winfield. Since we have started these programs, we have given over $1 million to students studying forestry. And one of the priorities of our scholarship offerings are to students with FFA backgrounds, because we find that students with FFA backgrounds have some knowledge of what they want to do. We see what the students are thinking, and we enjoy the opportunity to interview them. They're all interviewed. We interview every student we give a scholarship, and we hear your enthusiasm. So this is a great opportunity for FFA students interested in forestry to help pay for their education through a Forestry Foundation scholarship. The other part of your question is, what do we do with disasters when disasters strike? And certainly those things do happen. And what we try and do when that happens, number one, is make sure that people are safe. That's the most important thing. And then secondly, work with all of our partners in state government, in mills and the logging forces all around to see what we can do to capture as much of the damaged and downed material and get that put in proper places that we can utilize that we don't just lay it in the woods and let it rot. It does pose challenges because all of our equipment is used to addressing a tree that is standing vertical, not laying horizontal. And it's really a challenge to salvage much material with a natural disaster occurring. And we had that with Katrina in 2005, that a storm in 6 hours removed what we cut in 4 years. In 6 hours, one storm destroyed enough wood that we would normally harvest sustainably in a 4-year period. And that we've had to replace, replant. We have some excellent programs working with our legislature and working with our Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry and State Forester and other partners to help landowners get trees planted and prepare for future generations. The biggest challenge we have in Louisiana now are our markets. We've done such a great job growing trees. We grow now more than what we take out of our forest every year. So our forests are getting fuller and fuller and fuller. And we've got to watch out that we don't get to the point that we are attractive to insects coming in. So we need some new markets. So we need our existing mills to grow and expand. We need some new opportunities and places to come in and utilize the wood that is growing.
All right. You had said earlier that one of the first things that you make sure to take care of is people, not just your employees, but also the people within our state. Your association also welcomes people, new members all the time. Can you tell me a little bit about the process of becoming a member? Is there dues and how you would come about that?
Well, the Forestry Association is 73 years old. We organized in 1947, and we organized under the guidelines that our forests in Louisiana were not being well maintained. We didn't have a whole lot of trees planted, and we needed to do some work. So we were very successful in getting Louisiana reforested. So today, 73 years later, we're in a situation that we're growing more than what's being harvested. Our membership is really based on landowners, loggers, industry, people that enjoy just learning more about the forest. Dues in our organization are very simple. For the family landowner, it's a $25 membership. To larger businesses, of course, it's a higher membership fee because of the amount of work that they do and the responsibility that they have for a larger part of the forest. We have over 4,000 members. We're not as big as some of the other agricultural industries, but I will say this, that forests cover more of Louisiana than any other activity that's going on. So if we could have trees as members, we would have 1 million members, but we have the landowners who are members, and the loggers and the industry.
Thank you for meeting with me this morning, Mr. Buck. It was great to hear your perspectives. Coming from Area 2, I've really been able to see how important the timber industry is for our state, but especially in northern Louisiana. I grew up going to the Loggers Festival, and my father worked at Boise, Cascade, and Weyerhaeuser, so it was really awesome to be able to talk to you and see a different aspect of the industry, and I'm truly grateful for it.
Well, Elizabeth, I thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to visit with you, and I applaud you for the work that you do as a leader in the FFA, and I encourage all of your friends and colleagues to support FFA and to be great student leaders.